As a Christian, we are supposed to read the Bible. But why? Why should we read a collection of books that were written thousands of years ago? Why should we read books that were written to someone else? Why should we see Bible reading as a vital part of our faith? There are many good reasons we should read the Bible, but the one I'm going to suggest today is perhaps the simplest and yet most important reason. You may find yourself stumped when you first question why you should read the Bible, and that's okay. The very idea that Christians should read the Bible is so well established that the reasons for doing it are not explained very often. And when they are explained, they're often over-spiritualized, or they lead you to think that the Bible is something it's not. For example, one common reason people give for reading the Bible is because it's God's Word. That's fine, and it works to an extent, but why does that mean that I have to read it? I mean, why can't I just go to church consistently and hear the pastor explain the Bible? After all, I may find the Bible confusing when I read it for myself. Here's another example. Sometimes people will tell you to read the Bible so you can find answers to important life questions. While the Bible certainly offers advice on how to live, if we take this approach, we can skip really big portions that don't seem to offer any insights about modern life or answer any of our most important questions. Perhaps, though, we face the biggest problem when no one clearly explains why we should read the Bible to begin with. When no one gives you a reason for reading the Bible, all you can do is watch how others interact with the Bible and go from there. This lack of clarity can lead to some unrealistic expectations. For example, when we listen to a sermon, we may begin to think that we should get some deep spiritual insight every time we pick up the Bible. If we make spiritual insights the goal of Bible reading, though, we set ourselves up for confusion and disappointment. We will likely be confused because pastors don't prepare their sermons, or at least they shouldn't, based on reading alone. They spend significant amounts of time studying the Bible and thinking about how it connects to our modern lives. If we gauge our success in Bible reading by whether we get a spiritual insight like our pastor, we will end up disappointed every time that we don't discover something profound in the text. So let's go back to the original question. Why should we read the Bible? Here's my proposal. We should read the Bible to know what's in the Bible. I know that's not a groundbreaking take, but hear me out. If, as Christians, we believe that the Bible should guide the way we live and act in the world, then the worst thing we can be is unfamiliar with its content. I mean, imagine if an actor showed up in the third movie of a trilogy, but he has no idea what happened in the previous films. He never saw the movies or even read the scripts. Now, that actor would struggle to deliver a convincing performance. Of course, the few parts of the script he does know would help him make some progress. However, he would most likely make major mistakes. He might misunderstand a serious moment as a joke, or not recognize the significance of a reference to an earlier part in the trilogy. In order for the actor to play his role convincingly, he would need to be intimately familiar with everything that has gone on before and its influence on the role he plays now. If we don't know the content of the Bible, we are trying to do something similar to our hypothetical actor. We're trying to play our role in God's story with little knowledge of all the parts that have come before. We're prone, in that situation, to make all sorts of mistakes. We may think our lives should be lived one way, when in fact, we are completely wrong. The more familiar we are with the Bible, the better prepared we will be to play our role in God's story. After all, the Bible tells the story of God. It begins with creation and ends with a picture of new creation. Our lives are enveloped in God's story. He invites us to play a role. The Bible functions as something like our script. While we get to make some improvisations along the way, we want our performance to fit seamlessly within God's larger plan and story. The best way to ensure that we are well equipped to play our role in God's story is to read the Bible and become intimately familiar with its content. Now, there are three implications of reading the Bible simply to know its content. First, it provides us a clear reason for reading the Bible. I started this by saying we often don't know why we should read the Bible. Well, we want to know what has gone on in the story before we get our role, because the better we understand how the whole story works, the better we can play our role in God's story. The better we understand how the Bible works, the better we can live for God's kingdom now. Second, it alleviates some of the pressure we feel when reading the Bible. Of course, we would love to have some spiritual insight every time we pick up God's Word, but this is an unrealistic expectation. When we read the Bible to become more familiar with its content, we aren't so worried about the spiritual experience we have or don't have every time we pick it up. Third, adopting this mindset encourages us to build a consistent Bible reading habit. If we want to know the Bible's content better, then we need to read it regularly. If you want to plan for building a consistent Bible reading habit, you should check out my video based on James Clear's Atomic Habits book. It may just be the key to helping you transform into a consistent Bible reader. If you're watching this video in the week or so after it comes out, the link will be in the description below once the video is released. So, why should we read the Bible? We should read the Bible to know what's in the Bible. It's as simple as that.